Hey, Foster. Okay, let's do some division. We're going to tackle it together. Let's do the first question together on the video, and then you can go back and fill in your work on the Google Classroom whenever you want. Okay, you're going to get it. Let's do it together. So here's what this question's all about. A librarian gets some new books, and then he asks Oliver to make packages of the books with the same number of book in each package. So I like to picture these packages almost like piles of books. So Oliver's just taking these new books and putting them into piles and making sure that each pile is equal. So there's 10 information books, 5 fairy tale books, 9 picture books, and 12 fantasy books. Now, each question is going to tell us the number of piles that Oliver has to put these books into. So let's pay attention to that, okay? So it says Oliver put the information books and the fairy tale books into 5 equal packages or piles. And then I have these counters on the side to help us represent this problem or help us figure it out. So it looks like we have to combine the information books and the fairy tale books together, and then we have to separate them into 5 equal packages. Okay, so I'm going to make the blue counters represent the information books. So here I go. My computer is very slow, so please be patient with it. I'm going to just move 10 of these blue counters over here to the side. Okay, so 1. Did it come? No. Let me try it again. 1. I think it's working this time. Okay, let's try it one more time. 1. Oh dear. Oh, there it goes. Did I move more than 1? Let's see. Okay, looks like I've moved 3 so far because my computer is just extremely slow today. All right, so here's my first three information books. I'm putting 10 over to the side here, and I'm just putting them over to the side because I don't want to get confused with the counters that are right here, my helper counter piles. So there's 3. Let's keep counting. Here's 4. Here's 5. Just gonna move them over here. Here's 6. Here's 7. I hope my computer can catch up to me here. Okay, here's 8. Here's 9. And here's one last one, hopefully, 10. Oh, it's a strange color. It must be because it's the last one in the pile. That's okay. So there's my 10 counters. And these 10 counters, again, represent the 10 information books. And I'm combining the information books with fairy tale books. So if I check my table, looks like I have to add 5 fairy tale books. And I'm going to use the red counters to be my fairy tale books. So here's 1. Just going to put all my books together right now, and then I'll sort them into equal groups after this. Here's 2. Now, if we were doing this in class, imagine that we wouldn't be using these counters on a screen. We'd actually be having real counters or tiles out on our tables or desks. And that makes a big difference. So if you find these little counters on the screen, kind of like I'm finding them right now, a bit annoying to use, go grab some beans or any kind of like object that you have at home and just and use them as a counter. That's an option. Okay, let me check that I've done everything right. So all I've done so far is put all the books that I'm going to split into equal groups right over here. So I've got my 10 information books and my 5 fairy tale books. And now what I have to do is I have to split these books into 5 equal packages. So I'm just going to grab them like this and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and I'm going to just move this down a tiny bit to make it equal with the others, or roughly equal. Okay, so there's my 5 piles that I'm making, or 5 equal groups. So now I still have some information books to give out. I still have some more in my pile up here. So I'm just going to keep adding them to the groups one at a time, making sure that I keep adding to each group equally. So I'm adding the second information book to group number 2. Now I'm going to add my third information book to group number 3. And here's my fourth one. And here's my 5th one. And then looks like I still have my fairy tale books, but all my information books are now spread out into these 5 equal groups. And I can tell they're equal because each one has 2 information books. Now I'm going to take my fairy tale books and add them one at a time to each group because I want to make sure that my groups are equal at the end. Division's all about making equal groups. So you take a giant pile of something and then you spread it out into equal groups. I'm going to hopefully have enough of these red counters to add to each pile, because otherwise that wouldn't be equal and I would have to do something differently. But yes, this is going to work out just perfect. So there, I've taken my 10 information books and my 5 fairy tale books and I've spread them equally into 5 different piles. So just going to show you what that looks like so you can definitely see it. Just add a box around the group. Now this part you don't have to do. This is just me kind of showing you each group. We don't want that to be a red box, do we? Because we want to be able to see the counters. So let's go and take a look at that. Okay, so we can see that that's 1 group. This is 2 groups. This is 3 groups, 4 groups, and 5 groups. So we've done it. We've made 5 equal groups. Now we just have to figure out our division sentence. So how many books do we start with? That's always what comes first with division. We always start with the total. So we started with 10 information plus 5 fairy tale. What does that equal? Hopefully you realize it equals 15. So we started with 15 books. Remember, we counted that huge pile of counters. And we had 10 blue counters and 5 red counters, and that's 15. And then we divided them into some equal groups or piles. How many did we divide them into? Did we put them in 7 piles, 2 piles? How many piles did we make? We can look back up here to remind ourselves. We made 5 equal packages or piles or groups. So we took 15 and we divided them into 5 groups or piles or packages, whatever you want to say. And now we can see how many books are going to be in each one of those. How many are in each one? 1, 2, 3. Each group has 3. And so now we've made a division sentence that matches that picture. So we've used the counters to help us solve the problem, and then we've written a matching division sentence. Now, because you are such an expert at multiplication, I want to show you something cool. We can actually write a multiplication sentence too. And you're going to notice that the multiplication sentence is going to have the same numbers in it that the division sentence does, just in a different order. So if we were going to write a multiplication sentence for this, just make my font a little bit bigger. Oh dear, my computer is so slow today. All right, we did it. If I was going to write this multiplication sentence for the same picture, so looking up on top, I could say, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, right? We have 5 groups, and we're going to multiply that by the number in each group, which is 3, right? And that's going to equal in total 15. What's kind of neat about you knowing so many multiplication facts is you can actually use your multiplication facts to help you with the division. Because if you know that you're starting with 15 and you are dividing it into 5 groups, you can say to yourself, what times 5 equals 15? And you can get this answer really quickly. You don't need to worry about that right now, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind as you start to work through these division problems and you sort of get how they work a little bit. Let's go to the second page and talk about the next question and what you might do to start it.